Apple was about to have one of its biggest and most exciting weeks ever, but now they're facing a ton of backlash. Plus, we've got some new leaks on Apple's upcoming October event that seems more and more likely every day, and iPhone 17 rumors are already in full swing, and things are looking promising. Lots and lots and lots of Apple controversy and news to break down this week, so we break down all the news and leaks and info you need to know, and also give a big thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. Okay, so it's probably not a big secret that Apple themselves are a super secretive company. Every little thing they do is heavily guarded, is shrouded in mystery and secrecy, and Apple typically doesn't give us announcements of pre-orders or sales data unless it's really good. Sometimes when things are good, Apple tell us how many iPhones they sold opening weekend, so on and so forth. But when things aren't so good, obviously Apple doesn't really spill the beans because things like this could happen. The drama started when really renowned Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, who always seems to have the inside scoop on things, was able to do some of his own independent analysis on how the iPhone 16 demand was. Was demand up? Was it down? Were people excited or not? So he had his own, unscientific, kind of scientific sort of way to look at the pre-order data, and here's what he found. He saw that iPhone 16 demand was generally good. iPhone 16 Plus was up 50% over iPhone 15 Plus from last year, but iPhone 16 Pro demand across the board was down considerably as people weren't really excited or ordering this phone. Now, let me be clear that Apple is the only one with the actual numbers here. This is all sort of speculation and going off of timing on pre-orders and stuff like that, so take it with a grain of salt, of course, but also I feel like it doesn't take a rocket scientist or an Elon Musk to understand why these numbers are probably trending in the right direction. For one of the first times in a really long time, the general, regular non-Pro iPhone is probably the one to get this year for 95% of people, and both the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus are really compelling offerings, and really the differences between the 16 and the 16 Pro aren't that much. What is it? Slightly bigger screens, you get the always-on ProMotion thing, you get that third camera lens, I guess a better processor in theory, but that's kind of it. There are some smaller things, but by and large, 16 and 16 Plus are the better buy for most people, and it seems like the pre-order data seems to suggest that. This also sort of confirms the big theory and all the discussion sort of floating around the Apple universe, which is the iPhone 16 upgrade as a whole really isn't super compelling. Like if you've got a 15 or a 14 or a 13, you probably don't feel like jumping on the upgrade train. I saw multiple people who actually canceled their pre-order over the weekend and over the last couple of days just because after the dopamine rush sort of fell off to the wayside, they weren't really feeling it. And yeah, that also sort of makes sense. And I think investors sort of realize that as well, which is why Ming-Chi Kuo's report, this unofficial report on Apple sales figures, spooked investors enough to drop Apple stock by a couple of points. I think in general, many are just sort of frustrated by the lack of upgrade with the iPhone 16. And of course, if I'm wrong, drop a comment down below. You can disagree with me down below, but after reading your comments, that seems to be a very common theme. What's also been frustrating for many is that with the big release of iOS 18, one of the cornerstone features, all the Apple Intelligence stuff, isn't even there. It's really nowhere to be seen, and unless you knew it was coming, you really wouldn't know it was a big part of this release. And this sort of seems to be following the trend that Apple has done for the last couple of years, and that is to really hype up all the announcements and all the upgrades and stuff and say it's coming later and later and later, and that gives them some time to sort of show it off and build anticipation, but time to finish it, which usually means things don't really ship on time. What's interesting is that just a couple of years ago, everything Apple showed off at WWDC would be there on the release date of the software release for the iOS version or macOS version or whatever it is, but these days it's kind of common and even expected from Apple to sort of tease a feature or show off a feature that's coming later this fall or later this year, or whatever vague terminology Apple wants to use. Look, I think it's nice that Apple is adding new features and I'm excited to try Apple Intelligence, but it's not here with iOS 18. And it's sort of weird to have a hyped up feature set that is supposed to be so big, and especially so big for the iPhone 16 series, but won't even be ready by the time the phones launch. It's just all a little weird. Now, all this Apple stuff can be super frustrating, but sort of putting that to the side for a moment, probably more importantly, I think I'm not alone in saying that our lives can get super frustrating and overwhelming as well. Personally, sometimes I feel like I just have a mountain of items on my to-do list, but I'm sort of missing the tools needed to climb that mountain and get things done. For me, it can feel daunting, it can feel impossible, which is why I want to connect with experts who can sort of give me the tools I need to climb that mountain and get things done, which is why I couldn't be more excited to partner with BetterHelp, the sponsor of this video, who's on a mission to do just that. They're on a mission to make starting therapy way easier. You just fill out a questionnaire and you'll get matched to a therapist in as little as a couple of days. And if for some reason it's just not the right fit, things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to someone else. No muss, no fuss, super simple. Therapy can be incredibly therapeutic, pardon the pun, as it gives you a safe space to talk through feelings or problems without the fear of judgment, and you can get guided from an expert, a trained mental health professional who wants to help you grow and solve problems. It can be a truly life-changing experience, and just to be clear, you don't have to have a clinical mental health issue like depression or anxiety to really benefit from therapy. And with over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform you can trust, and it's ready for you right now. If you're struggling and you feel like you'd benefit from a therapy session, just hit the link down below in the description or head to betterhelp.com/applecircle to get 10% off your first month of therapy. Again, link right down below in the description or head to betterhelp.com/applecircle for 10% off your first month of therapy. Okay, I feel like I've been sort of bashing Apple a lot in this video, so let me sort of calm down, collect my thoughts, and spin things a little bit more positively as we get into what is coming next, specifically with a second fall event. It's seeming more and more likely that it's going to be an October event and not a November event. That's going to be the home of a couple of product upgrades, new base iPad, new iPad mini, and then a couple of M4 Macs, including a new MacBook Pro, and also this new redesigned Mac Mini, which in fact, Apple themselves seemingly leaked in their own code, sort of referencing a new 5-port Mac Mini that aligns with the rumors, and if the rumors are true, it's gonna be like an Apple TV style super small Mac Mini that you bring your own display, keyboard, and mouse, and this brings Apple Silicon and a ton of power in like a super small and tiny form factor. So this is gonna be super cool, and this should be an event very similar to the Scary Fast event from last fall, really Mac focused, Apple Silicon focused, with a little bit of iPad thrown in there too. I've also got a bit of an update to one of the missing rumors of the Apple Glow Time event, which was the colorful Apple Watch SE. According to Mark Gurman over at Bloomberg, this product is still in the works and now might be launching in the spring, maybe at a spring event with the iPhone SE4, which in and of itself is supposed to be quite the upgrade. Now, it seems like this new Apple Watch SE is gonna follow the trend of the iPhone 5C, so it's unapologetically plastic. Can't do the Johnny Ive accent, I'm not even gonna attempt that, but it's the Johnny Ive plastic design here, but with a pop of color. So likely similar to the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus, we'd have a nice pop of color on sort of the lower end, cheaper plastic bodied Apple Watch SE, which is really, I think Apple is targeting sort of the children and teen and kids market for that, and also people who just don't want to break the bank on an Apple Watch. This is gonna be a way for them to sort of keep costs down, but also sort of make it a little bit more appealing in the current Apple Watch SE we've got right now. Again, likely not launching until spring of 2025. And then of course, finally, since the rumors just don't sleep in the Apple world, again, like I've mentioned for the last couple of weeks, we've already got news on the iPhone 17, and I don't want to sort of spill the beans early or sort of jinx myself, but if you are hoping for a bit of a more significant upgrade to the iPhone, this looks like it's coming with the iPhone 17 line in 2025. And yes, for those out of the loop, Apple's already working on an iPhone upgrade for next year, even though the iPhone 16 was just announced. As of right now, it looks like the iPhone 17 might be a 4-phone lineup with an iPhone 17, an iPhone 17 Air, an iPhone 17 Pro, and a Pro Max, with really the big hubbub around the iPhone 17 Air that would sort of sit right between the two lines like the iPad, giving you more of the Pro looks and the Pro features and a lot of the Pro stuff and bells and whistles without the higher end Pro price tags. If you wanted a super thin iPhone that had a really great design, had a lot of the bells and whistles of the Pro phone built in there, great cameras and all that stuff, but didn't want to spend Pro money or want a Pro max size screen, this presumably would be a way to go. We're hearing some bigger design changes are in store for the iPhone 17 series as a whole, hopefully a smaller dynamic island. We should be getting maybe some tweaks to the buttons and colors and stuff like that. And also we're hearing that finally, on the base iPhone 17 and iPhone 17 Air, 120 hertz display. So 60 hertz is out of there, gone, presumably starting next year in 2025. As I know, that's sort of a big point of contention about the 16 and 16 Plus. As always, I wanna know your thoughts down below, your thoughts on iOS 18, sort of the slumping sales, presumably, or the pre-orders of iPhone 16. Are you upgrading or not? Why are you doing so? Drop a comment down below, let me know. October event, do you think it's happening or not? And other things you're hoping to see from Apple before the end of the year. Drop a comment and let me know. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. I'm Robert Rosenfeld from the Apple Circle. I'll see you all in the next one.